What's going on? What's going on? So I'm doing something a little bit different today. I'm actually, and I think moving forward, instead of breaking down the games at night, I'm gonna wait till before lock, break down each game and formulate my lineup. And as I'm doing it, I'm gonna be checking the YouTube chat to see you guys' input and kind of do it as a team, as a community. So that's my new format. Um, every player has to stick to my system. I have to like the player for me to put my money on it, but feel free to use any information and make your own lineup as well. All right. Welcome, Patrick, Brian, Whitley. Welcome, Jay Pizzy. Welcome. So last night, what I did do though was I went ahead and created a game stack lineup that I am going to play. If you're interested in it, this is it. I'm stacking the entire Chicago Bulls starting five. Then I'm throwing in James Harden, Alex Len, and Richard Hollis Jefferson. Um, I wanted to replace Hollis Jefferson with Ish Smith, but it's he's $300 too expensive. So the other thing that I considered today was it's not going to work now, but if John Wall was going to sit, which it seems like he will play, I was going to take out Mirotic, put in Marquise Chris, move Butler to the forward spot and put James Harden as my two guard, put Jordan there, and then for my guard I was gonna put Jennings. I was hoping Wall sat because this would have been, man, so sweet. This would have been my lineup if John Wall, and if he does sit, if something happens before lock and John Wall does not play, then I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna start four Chicago starters: Rondo, Zipser, Lopez, and Jimmy Butler, and then I'm gonna throw in James Harden, Marquise Chris, Brandon Jennings, and Alex Len. But of course, that's only if John Wall sits, which it doesn't seem. We just got noticed that he's more on the probable side, and John Wall has publicly said that he doesn't like to rest. He wants to play, and they're chasing first seed. I mean, the Nets is a team that you'll probably want to sit your guys against, but they're tough. You know, they suck and they lose a lot, but they'll give you a good run for your money if you don't be careful. The Nets will take you down. We've seen it lots of times. So this is my backup, but unless the word drops before 7 that John Wall will sit, I'm gonna stick to my original plan and just stack all five Chicago starters. Throw some James Harden, Hollis Jefferson, Alex Len, and see how that works. I'm doing the game stacking, but I will formulate a lineup, breaking down this entire slate game by game, seeing which lineup fit my system. All right, let me see what you guys are talking about so far. You definitely getting money tonight, Daniel, without a doubt. I don't have any doubt about tonight. I feel good about tonight. Avery Bradley is out. When did that drop? Let me open Twitter and one I could use this one. That must have been like in the last 10 seconds. So Ramon Sessions is active. That's irrelevant. Miles Plum. Okay, so Jalen Brown is starting in place of Avery Bradley. Avery Bradley is out with an illness. I think that makes me like Eulis more. Um, doesn't make me like Jalen Brown more. Jalen Brown price came up because he's been. Oh no, it went right back down. He's 3,300. We know that when he starts, he does very well. I don't know if I could get to Jalen Brown. We're gonna break down the slate and we'll see, but I don't know. Yeah, Wall. is playing, but he might be sitting, he might not. I don't know what's going on with Wall. I'm staying away from that whole situation. I was only interested if he was sitting. Then I would definitely put Brandon Jennings in because I think Jennings, for the price that he's listed for against the Nets, is a steal. But it seems like John Wall will play, so I'm gonna stay away from that whole situation. Now Hollis Jefferson last night only played like 14 minutes. He put up 33 fantasy points. He snatched down like 15 rebounds. And I've been kind of studying his rebounds numbers. And when he gets minutes against good matchup teams that give up a lot of rebounds, he pulls them down. Um, 16 against Phoenix. He had 9 against Dallas. I think that's pretty cool. He had a couple double doubles in the last 10 games. So in a tougher matchup tonight against the Washington Wizards, we know that the Wizards also give up a lot of rebounds. They're not a rebound grabbing team. So I like Hollis Jefferson. I think he's a little sneaky tonight. All right. Yeah, I love the Chicago stack, Tim. It's something. I mean, I've used stacking in the past when the time was right. I really want to stack the Phoenix lineup, and I'm gonna kind of take a look at that too. Because when a team have so many injuries, similar to what we saw with Golden State the other day, if that Golden State Spurs game, I would have stacked the entire Golden State starting lineup for that game. I would have won easily. So when a team have like 8 players available and you stack all their starters, you're gonna get everything. You're gonna get all the rebounds, the points, the assists. Everything that team does is gonna contribute to daily fantasy points. So that's the concept that I'm doing with that Chicago stack. But see how it works. IT covering Ulyss. Ulyss is a good play tonight. Hopefully we can get to him in the lineup once I break it down. Not gonna waste too much time because I want to get through the entire slate before I lock. Um, yeah, someone challenged me last night in the head to head, and I must admit, when Berea went out, it cost my lineup, and I lost. I had Berea in the head to head that I did with the guy, and I lost. Yeah, I'm looking to stack Phoenix. I might just put like $1 on it and see how it works out. KJ Daniel, I'm not gonna chase that single game to be honest. I'm not. I like Booker, but he can't handle the load. That's a good idea also. What up, everyone? Join chat. What up? What up, Mamba? Um, hit the like button if you like my videos. If you don't, hit the dislike button. And if you haven't already, subscribe. I'm gonna get right into it, guys. All right. So the first game here is Brooklyn versus Washington. And for those new to my video, I've been following the system for the past 3 NBA seasons, and I've been very successful using it. As of late, it hasn't really been hitting. We've been having some very weird slates, and I think it's just that the season is winding down, and a lot of teams just aren't interested. They're throwing out their bench players and trying to see who to keep at the end of the season, who to develop, and they're trying to see what these guys have coming off the bench. They're not running their guys. We've been getting a lot of late game post lock players not playing and resting, just causing a lot of disarray. But I think tonight will be okay. I'm gonna stick to the system, stick to what's been working for me. So the concept is, I look for players that are capable of hitting 6 times value for their price. Not only capable of doing it, but who has been consistent doing it and have upside as well. So if, for example, we take James Harden, he's 12K, so 6 12s are 72. He would fit the system because in the last 10 games, he's averaging 72, and he's consistently in the 70s, 80s, 70s, and he has some 80 upside. So James Harden would be someone that I would consider. If we take someone like Antetokounmpo, we need about mid 50s for his price. Now he can get you that, but then he consistently is in the 40s and 30s. So he doesn't fit my system. He's not someone that I would consider on a night to night basis. And what happens is you either get around 300, a little over 300 or a little under 300. Some guys go over that 6 times, some fall short of it, but normally you just balance out around the 300 point range, and that normally wins place you in every contest, whether it's a tournament, head to head, or whatever have you. So Looking at this Washington versus Brooklyn game, John Wall is questionable. Joe Harris and Sean Kilpatrick are out. We're going to start on the Brooklyn side of the ball. Jeremy Lin will need mid 30s. Yesterday, he kind of disappointed. He didn't quite hit it, but he didn't play his full load of minutes. He only played 21 minutes. The game turned out into a blowout. At halftime, he had about 17. He was on track for mid 30s. And he got hurt in Dallas, but before then he was consistent around the 30s. So I would like to still consider Jeremy Lin. I don't know if I'll be able to get to him, but I'm going to pull him over as we continue. And I really don't like rostering bench players unless I have a real good feeling about them. So I won't really go into a lot of bench players. Only the popular options like a Spencer Dinwiddie. People like to play him. When he was starting, he was around 6 times value at 30 points, but he's went back to the bench since Jeremy Lin came back from his injury. And off the bench, he hasn't really been hitting 30, so I wouldn't consider Dinwiddie today. Randy Foy has been starting. He needs about 20 to hit value. 2.5 and 16 doesn't really impress me. Karis LeVert needs about mid-20s, and then he can settle into the teens, 22, 12, 15. So he's a little bit too up and down for my liking. I'm going to stay away from Karis LeVert. Quincy Acey needs about 20. He can get you 25, 14, 15, 27. Another guy that's a little too up and down. I'm going to stay away from him. KJ McDaniels, people seem to like. He had a monster game yesterday. He hit for over 10 times value. But is he going to repeat it? He hasn't really shown the consistency. I'm not going to mess with him. Trevor Booker needs about 30. They've been playing him less minutes, so he's not someone I'm going to pick on. If he was starting and or getting more minutes, I would, but they're giving the minutes more now to Quincy Acey, Hollis Jefferson. He's a veteran and he needs the rest. The Nets aren't going anywhere, so I'm going to stay away from him. Brook Lopez, he's been pretty consistent. He needed about 40. Last night he fell short of 30. They didn't really run him much, maybe because they knew it was a back-to-back. In 3 games, averaging 31 minutes against Washington, he's putting up 36 fantasy points. So that's a little around the 6K mark, and we know that he's super consistent in the 30s. So he's someone to consider as well. I'll pull him over and stash him. On the Washington side, we don't know if John Wall will play. If he does not play, I feel like you just have to play Brandon Jennings. It's the best matchup for a point guard, and if he's starting getting minutes, he's good for a point per minute, I would like to say. In 14 minutes, 16 points, 15 minutes, 22 points, 16 minutes, 14, 17, 19. So if you're telling me he's going to get near 30 or mid-20s as far as minutes, I would definitely be interested. He'll be good for the 6 times value, but we can't make that move until John Wall is confirmed. And I'm going to check Twitter because I have a new notification. I just want to make sure it's nothing that's going to affect this. So Miles Plumlee will be active today. So that's something that I'll consider as I break down the slate. Now, if John Wall does play, he needs about mid-50s to make me happy. In 3 games against this team, he's averaging 37 minutes and he's putting up 52 points. The problem is he hasn't really been in the 50s too much recently. He's been kind of struggling. 51, 36, 41, 49, 50, 37. So he's a little up and down. Just going to use some caution. Bradley Beal, same story. We need about mid-40s. He can get you 52, then 24, 29, 29, 35. So he might not reach the value that we will need. Bogdanovich needs upper 20s. His last game he had 7. The one before that, upper 20s, 27. But before that, 16 and 15. So I'm going to stand clear of Bogdanovich for the night. Otto Porter needs mid-30s. He's another guy who's inconsistent. He can get you 20, 14, 28. For 6K, that's not worth it. Markieff Morris, this is a good matchup for him. In 2 games, averaging 26 minutes. He's only putting up 25 fantasy points. And he's also up and down, 28, 19, 19. He was better in the earlier part of the year. But as the season winds down, he's been cooling down. Hopefully he gets it back for the playoffs because I like the Wizards. I would love to see the Wizards come out of the East. I think the Wizards, the Heat, Wizards, who else can I say are my favorite teams in the East outside of the New York teams? It would be the Wizards, the Heat, That's pretty much it. I don't really like too much on the East, so those two teams are who I'm rooting for in the playoffs on the Eastern side. Jason Smith been doing okay. He needs mid 20s, but 18, 23, 22, 37, 4, 8. He comes off the bench. He is in a good matchup in 3 games, averaging 16.2 minutes. He's putting up 20.4 fantasy points. But if we just take away his worst game of 18, he's been in the mid 20s and 30s. Even when Markeith Morris came back, he still went out and gave us 23 points. So he's worth just pulling over and keeping an eye on. Marcin Gortatny's mid 20s. His minutes are decreasing. He's getting 12, 13 fantasy points. That will not make us happy tonight. Mahinmi, he's about 18, and he hasn't really hit that 15 and 4. And if we pay for a guy, he give us 4 fantasy points, we will be upset. So that's all I like from this game that I'm keeping an eye on. Jeremy Lin, Jason Smith, and Brooke Lopez. Let's see how you guys feel about it. Um, so McDaniel's, Ali Bean, I pretty much said that I'm not down with just chasing that single game. Coming off the bench, I will have to see some more consistency. It's a good punt play though. If he gets the minutes, the matchup is decent. Um, on a back to back, they may not want to play their main guys as much. So the only thing is their main guys didn't play too many minutes yesterday. The guys who did play minutes were like KJ McDaniels. That's why you had a big game. So being that the starting crew is a little more rested, I think the coach is going to do the opposite and kind of give them a little more run today. And the bench will get a little more of a break, come in for some relief, and then come back out. That's just my impression. So I wouldn't play McDaniels. That's how I'm thinking about it. Um, Studs and scrubs is a good approach today. I'm with you there, Ali. Okafor is out. We're gonna get to that game. If Gortat gets minutes, he could be a big pivot off Rolo. Yes, but what's to say that Gortat is gonna get minutes? And his minutes total has been 28, 12, 27, 22. It's just not reliable. It's one of those tournament plays where you just hope he has a good game and win you money. But I'm looking for consistency, and he doesn't fit the bill. Moving on to Cleveland versus Charlotte. Injuries, Ramon Sessions. I think I just seen that he's irrelevant. I'm not gonna waste time on it. But Miles Plumlee is who's playing. I think they said Miles Plumlee will play. Um, that just makes me hate the Charlotte bigs more. They're all gonna have decrease in minutes. Starting on the Cleveland side of the ball, Kyrie Irving has been really consistent. We need mid 40s, mid to upper 40s from him. 42, 54, 32, 37, 40, 40, 40, 70. So he has upside. He's consistently in the 40s. In 2 games against this team, averaging 31 minutes, he's only putting up 27.1. The thing with Kyrie Irving is, and I said this the last time, and I didn't play him, and he did okay with 42 points, even though it's not 6 times value. But with Kevin Love back, I think his relevance kind of decreases a little bit. I think he doesn't need to do as much as he did when Kevin Love was out. That's when he was really going off for these big games. But he's worth consideration. I'm not really going to get to him for that price today, but I don't think he's a bad play. On any given night, Kyrie Irving is a good play, unless he gives you one of these 30-point games for 8K. That's about 4 times value. It's not really what you want. And then his backup in Deron, I will stay away from. It was in the blowout game against Denver, he got a little extra run. He shot 8 for 10. I don't think Deron can shoot 8 for 10 consistently. I'll stay away from him. J.R. Smith has not been himself since back from his injury. We need mid-20s. He's been in the teens for the most part. Shumpert was kind of hot for a little while. He was like consistently in the 20s for like 3-4 games. But now he's back in the teens, and Shumpert and J.R. Smith eating into his minutes as well. LeBron James, we know we need 60 just about from him. He can get you 31, 54, 60, 51, 48. For that high price, I'll just pay the 2,000 more for Harden, who's chasing his MVP with Russ. So I don't know if I can get to LeBron. As far as my system, should I put him over just to have a couple games in the 30s? I mean, other than that, he's been pretty consistent for at least 5 times value. The upside isn't there, so I'm going to leave LeBron alone. Kevin Love, I did like for today's game in 3 games, averaging 33 minutes. He's putting up 40 fantasy points. He needs about mid 40s to make us happy, and he already done that in 26 minutes. And it seems like he's. I feel like if this Denver game was closer, he would have had more minutes. I like Kevin Love tonight. I'm gonna actually consider Kevin Love. I may not get to him at the end of the lineup breakdown, but I do like him tonight. And Tristan Thompson has not been reliable. He's up and down 16, 20, and 20. We need upper 20s to hit value for him today. I'm going to stay away from him. On the Charlotte side of the ball, Kemba Walker has been struggling. Um, he needs mid 40s in 3 games against this team. He's averaging about 40 points. But 36, 31, 28 has been his last 3 games. So he's not too reliable from a fantasy point of view. Same can be said for Nick Batum. We need about 40. 23, 28, and 26 in his last 3. He's not consistent. Kid Gilchrist needs upper 20s. He's been in the lower 20s. I'm going to stay away from him. Marvin Williams was hot when Frank Kaminsky was out, but he needs mid 30s, and he's been in the 20s and teens. I'm not going to pick on anyone on this team. Frank Kaminsky needs mid 30s. He's been in the 20s. Cody Zeller's been pretty consistent around 30 recently. But 30, 18, 37, 21, 2 up and down for me to put my money on tonight. And that's it for that game, okay? Let's see what you guys talking about. Kevin Love restricted to 25 minutes today. So I'm gonna get rid of Kevin Love. No Love, 25 minutes. All right, so no Love. Thanks for that information. We're gonna get rid of Kevin Love, and we're gonna proceed. Denver versus Indiana. I kind of like this game, man. I think this is it's gonna be a high scoring game. But to be honest, I don't think the Pacers are gonna keep up. I've seen teams play the Pacers. The Pacers are just not in good shape right now. Their go-to man in Paul George is inconsistent, and Jeff Teague, he seems to be coming back around. But let's check out his numbers. Starting with Indiana, Jeff Teague in the last 3, 39, 40. He needs about mid 40s to make me happy. And I don't see too much upside. I know that this is a good matchup for him, but in 24 minutes, he only put up 28 fantasy points against them. And he's been up and down recently. I'm going to stay away. Glenn Robinson, the third, is out. The coach said that Stuckey is going to get the majority of his minutes. I did read that. I'm really not interested. If anything, I'm more interested in CJ Miles. I think he'll get some extra run. He likes to shoot the 3 ball. I know he did well. In 20 minutes, he put up 29 fantasy points, but he just hasn't been consistent. He go from 10 to 25 to 13. So, yes, he had a good game against this team, but I don't know if he's going to have another good one. I'm not going to consider him. Monte Ellis off the bench needs about 24. 16, 22, 19 is a little bit too up and down for me. I'm going to stay away. Paul George needs about 50. And he'll go from 50 to 44 to 27 to 57. We know that he is the leader of this team. In 31 minutes, he only put up 27.5. And I'm not gonna pick on Paul George tonight. I don't think it's a good matchup for him, and he's been inconsistent. Thaddeus Young needs upper 20s. He's been in the lower 20s. I'm gonna stay away from him. He already burnt me this week. And Miles Turner needs about mid 30s. In 20 minutes, he put up 20 points against this team. He's been in the 30s rather consistently. I guess we can pick on him and see how it plays out at the end. On the Denver side of the ball, Jameer Nelson needs 30s, and in the last 2, he's been just 20. He's not. I don't see a consistency trend with him. Jamal Murray needs mid 20s, 21, 17, 22. Just doesn't really make me happy. Gary Harris needs mid 30s, and he's averaging in the last 10, 34. And he's has not been less than 30, 32, 42, 31, 30, 30. It's just a good look. Love Gary Harris for tomorrow, for today's game. Will Barton coming off the bench for 6K. He needs about mid 30s. He can go from 33 to 50, 19 to 50, 37. And I'm thinking Gallinari might be back as well. We know that I mean, his upside and outside of this one game, he's been in the 30s, right, consistently, and the upside of 50 is very interesting. So I'm gonna consider him, but I doubt I'll be able to get to Gary Harris today. Wilson Chandler needs about mid 30s to 40. He played 41 minutes, only put up 30 fantasy points, and 31 minutes against this team, he put up about 40. And outside of this one game, he's been consistently in the 30s. He got some 60-point upside, so he's also worth some consideration as well. Kenneth Fareed is questionable. That's enough for us to just not go there. It's going to be a later. He's a at lock determination as well. So I guess we can wait and see. And that just makes me like Wilson Chandler even more, knowing that Kenneth Fareed may not play. So we're going to monitor that approach and lock as well. We got some updates on Twitter. Let's see what's going on. As far as injuries, Kevin Love is limited. Okay. And that's what I said they should do. Instead of resting players, just cut their minutes. But people like LeBron James, he doesn't want his minutes cut because it's going to affect his stats, his per game stats. And he's looking to fill up this big legacy. Whatever. All right. So that's the big news. Kevin Love is limited. Jokic, for some reason, I feel like this is Jokic's night. We know that Indiana gives up a ton of rebounds. So the rebounds are going to be in the high teens. Against this, we need about 50s, right? He already did that in one game against this team. And but he can go from 39 to 50, 30 to 50, 30 to 45 to 50 to 50. But this is the matchup for him, man. I like Jokic tonight. Would I take out Lopez and put Jokic in though? I would take out Miles Turner for sure because Denver is the best rebounding team right now. So Miles Turner is not going to get as much rebound. So I can consider some Jokic. I really like Jokic tonight. So I'm gonna do that, and then that's it for that game. Let me see what you guys talking about. Oh, Fareed is playing. Okay. T going off tonight. Yeah, but I won't call him a lock, and I didn't really consider Teague tonight, did I? Yeah, I'm okay with Teague. John Wall is a go. Yep, we established that. Gallo will play. Yep. I'm starting to like Amir Johnson. Worried about Denver rotation. Looks like everyone's healthy. Fareed's back. Gallo too. With everyone healthy in Denver, that just increases the stock for Jokic more than anyone else. Because Jokic likes to get his assist numbers, and it what I've been seeing is that with Will Barton taking a lot of shots and chucking up the ball, Will Barton minutes is going to be decreased, allowing Jokic to do his thing some more. And I think this game might get out of hand. So I like Jokic, but I don't like Jokic. I'm just gonna finish breaking down the slate and see where we get with the Jokic pick. All right. Um, as far as Barton, I'm taking him out if because Gallinari is playing. I'm taking out Barton. Wilson Chandler, I'm gonna hold on to. I know he's been he said either trade me or play me. So I think we got to see if he's gonna be in the starting lineup. I'll probably get to him tonight. But as I might not get to him at the end of the slate breakdown. But I'm gonna hold on to Wilson Chandler and Jokic for now and get rid of Will Barton. Even Gary Harris, if Gallinari is back, Gary Harris is not going to get too many shots. So I'm going to get rid of Gary Harris as well. I loved him with Gallinari out, but Gallinari is kind of like the leader of the team. He's the one that's been there the longest, and it's pretty. They're not going to put him second to those other guys. So Detroit versus Orlando. Ish Smith is supposed to be starting this game for Detroit. Now it's a little bit deceiving. I'm going to start on the Detroit side. If you look at Ish Smith, it says that he's in a bad matchup. But I took some time today and I looked at Peyton. Right. So let's look at Alfred Payton and let's look at the teams that he's played. So Charlotte, Philly, Phoenix all played today. So we can look at the point guard for those teams. Charlotte and Phoenix, right? Let's just look at those two. What I discovered was that what the heck is going on? Charlotte and Phoenix. What I've discovered is that point guard has been doing well against this team, okay? Ulis went down and put up 36 fantasy points. And Kyrie Irving went and put up 45. So I'm not afraid to play point guards against Orlando. And if I know that Ish Smith is a starter, we need about 30 from him, or not even 30, just upper 20s. And he's been 26, 38 when he gets starter minutes. So I'm going to strongly consider Ish Smith and pull him over into our box. Now, between Caldwell Pope, he needs about 30. And he's been 11, 29, 40, 15, two up and down. Same could be said for Marcus Morris. He needs about 30. He's been 18, 23, and 26. Tobias Harris needs about 36, mid 30s. He's been 24, 41, 15. So either one of them is going to have a good night. I'm just not going to throw a fishing rod and say I'm going to pick the right fish. I'm going to stay away from all of them. Lua needs about 24. Outside of this 13-point game, he's been in the low 20s. I don't see a lot of upside for Lua. If he gets you 23, that's going to be it. He's not going to get you 30. So Drummond in 2 games, averaging 31 minutes, putting up 40 fantasy points against this team. He needs about mid 40s, and he's been in the 40s pretty consistently. 30, 43, 47, 40. They're fighting for some playoff spot. His minutes have been there. He's playing just about 30 minutes per game. I don't like him better than Brook Lopez, and I don't like him better than Jokic. So for that reason, I'm just going to keep him on the side. On the Orlando side of the ball, Alfred Payton, he's about 40s. He hasn't really touched 40s in the last 4 games. Fournier needs about 30. He can get you 26, 31, 34, 14. This is not a good matchup for him. In 2 games, averaging 29 minutes, he's only putting up 14 fantasy points. So I'm afraid of Fournier tonight. Terrence Ross, we know that Jeff Green has been ruled out. So Zonja, however you say his name, becomes interesting. When he plays minutes in the 20s, he needs about 18 to make us happy. He got to 20, but he's also like against Golden State. He had 24 minutes. He did nothing. We know that was a blowout. He had 22 minutes in Charlotte. He only gave us 16. So he's just not someone that I think is reliable. Terrence Ross is hit or miss. If his shots go in, he'll get you 27. If not, he'll get you 17 and 11. I'm not going to bet on that. Aaron Gordon needs low to mid 30s. 14, 27, 31 is just not reliable for me. Vucevic, I like a lot, man. This guy, he needs mid 40s, about 45. That's what he's averaging in the last 10. I like Brook Lopez more than Vucevic tonight, only because this is a tougher matchup for him, and most of the matchup that he's seen recently has been good matchups. And then when he gets to the tougher ones, that's when he really kind of struggles. But this guy, in the last 10 games, only 2 games outside of 40. So it's hard to say I'm fading him tonight. I just like Jokic and Brook Lopez in his matchup much more. And Lopez is what? A whole $1,000 cheaper. You might get similar-ish numbers from them. So I'm going to fade Vucevic, but I love Vucevic. If I was making a third lineup, I would definitely take the gamble on Vucevic. I think Vucevic is in a good spot. Hard to fit. He fits my system to the T. This guy's super consistent. I could rely on him on any night. But one thing I do know is that no matter how good a guy is, he does have night offs where you have a game where he struggles. And he hasn't had one in a while. And I think this is the matchup that will give him a lower score tonight. So Detroit's fighting for that playoff spot. I just don't know. Something's telling me I can't trust Vucevic tonight. I might be wrong. But I'm going to stay clear of Vucevic. And let me see what you guys are talking about. Last night you were talking about I am game stacking. And I'm not changing my game stacking lineup, Mamba. It's just that I'm doing a slate breakdown just to see what lineup I could come up with. And I'll put a couple dollars on this lineup that I end up with. But I'm stacking the entire Chicago team. I'm playing all 5 of their starters with James Harden, Hollis Jefferson, and Alex Len. So that's my 8 picks for my game stack tonight. I didn't change my mind from that. Can you speak to Drew Holiday? Yeah, I'll speak to those guys when I get to their games, Peter. I'm doing it game by game. This is not a core. This is just people that I've reviewed so far that I like, that I'm pulling over into my box. Hey, good luck with coaching, Patrick. Is Ishmith worth it if he's only playing 25 minutes, even when he start? I think in a good matchup, he'll get hot. He'll take it to Alfred Payton and do well, and the coach will just run with him. If Ishmith comes out doing well, they're not gonna take him out. And the reason he's been getting lower minutes is because they've been losing those games. He comes out and let's see, Ishmith. So in Chicago, it was a blowout, so they took him out. In Brooklyn, it was a closer game. He got almost 30 minutes. So I think they only took him out when he started here because it was a blowout. Chicago was about their business that night. So I don't think his minutes are low because of the way it's going to be. I just think it was just the circumstances for that game. Are you still playing the lineup from the video? Yes, that's my main lineup, Prodigy. The stack is my main lineup. This is just a slate breakdown. Can you stack in smaller slate? It's better to stack in smaller slates. That's when you really increases your chances of winning. If you stack smaller slates like 2 and 3 game slates, I usually stack games on those slates. But tonight I'm just trying to stack to see because I've been kind of having a rough time, so I'm trying to stack. I like the Bull stack and I like the Phoenix stack. If anyone want a min price and DK fan lose, this is gonna get run. I'm here to help. All right, so next game. Phoenix versus Boston. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open up another box, and I want to see something really quick before I even break that down. I want to see how a Phoenix stack will look. Now, one thing I like about people like Tyler Ulis, this guy's gonna play 40 minutes regardless of what. I was so frustrated last night. I'm watching the game because I don't have him. And I want them to take him out because he was just racking up points last night, right? They're down by 35 points. The guy already played like 40 minutes, and they kept him in. They took him out for a little bit. Devin Booker gets fouled out, and they bring him back in. Why not just run Ronnie Price or someone? They just want to give this guy 40 minutes. He's gonna blow a Achilles or tendons or something, and I, I I don't know if the trainers or the doctors they get involved when it's big names like LeBron James, but when it's a young kid that's new to the league, they're gonna just run him to death. I don't understand it, but that's why I like Ulis Elias because he's gonna get you 40 minutes no matter what. So no matter how bad he's shooting or what kind of night he's having, 40 minutes is hard not to hit value. He didn't last night, but with no A.V. Bradley on the Boston team, I like Ulis tonight, and I'm gonna try to game stack this game and see what type of money I'm left with. I don't even know who's gonna start. Dudley, I guess. And then Len, I'll even throw Williams in there. Still got some good money. You can do this, still end up with James Harden and then a decent pick. 4,700 for a small forward. I think that'll get you Hollis Jefferson, right? Oh, he's not small forward. It'll get you Sheffilosa, who's been playing okay in place of So that's another. If you want to stack the Phoenix team, that's not a bad idea, man. You can stack the entire team. They don't have a lot of people to play, so I'll probably do this and put $1 on it, see how it turns out. I'll put it in a free entry just to I'm trying to experiment with these stacking scenarios. But a Phoenix stack is not a bad idea. I'm gonna get back to it at the end of my slate breakdown, but I'm just gonna break down that game now. On the Phoenix side of the ball, Ulis, needs about 40 to make me happy. 40, low 40s. He's only been in the 40s once in the last 4 games. And they're running him a ton of minutes. This is a good matchup for him. He's about a point per minute. He already played 33 minutes against this team. I think he can hit. It's just on a back-to-back. I don't care how young he is. He just played 42 minutes last night. So I'm not picking Ulis. Only in that game stack, I'll do it. But for right now, if I'm going to put more than $1, I wouldn't go with Ulis. Playing 40 minutes. Let's see if he's done a back-to-back in any of these situations. So on the 11th, he played 28, and then on the 12th, 19. So I don't know if he's going to get 40 minutes on the back-to-back. They have not done that to him as yet, and that'll be very that's like negligent of a coach to play a guy 40 minutes on a back-to-back night. So kind of got me nervous to play Ulis. Rodney Price we know is out. Barbosa might be the one to get most of the run. Taking a look at him, he needs about 18. He can go from 21 to 15 to 8. I'll be very careful with Tyler Eulis. Devin Booker needs about 40 as well. And even with his 40 minutes against a good matchup in Brooklyn, he only got us 36.5. One thing I know about the Celtics is, especially Marcus Smart and even Jaylen Brown, those guys can play a little bit of defense. So if he couldn't do it against Brooklyn, I'm not going to rely on him to do it against Boston. And that's why I went more with the Chicago stack than the Phoenix stack. I just feel a little safer. TJ Warren and Jones both are going to be out. Marquise Chris, I love a lot. He needs mid 30s. He's averaging 36 in the last 10 games. Um, he didn't play 40 minutes last night, and with all the people sitting, he's going to be needed. Boston is a good matchup. He has some upside. There's no reason to fade Marquise Chris today. It's saying that we don't have a spot for him, so let's make one, right? Um, Wilson Chandler can play small forward, so let's put Chandler in the small forward spot and then get Marquise Chris in this one. He's pretty much a lock, I think, for tonight. You can't go wrong with Marquise Chris, man. The guy's balling out, and they're pretty much giving him the green light. So I like him. Jared Dudley can be sneaky tonight. He needs about 18 to make us happy. And when he gets minutes, and I think he'll get some tonight, 16, 20, 19. And it's a good matchup for him, too. It's just that I don't know if they're going to use him at the 3 or the 4. Crowder can kind of lock him down. In 17 minutes, he's only put up 6 against this team. So he's a good punt play. If you look for someone cheap, I'll consider Jared Dudley. I think Dudley has a good game tonight. And then Allen Williams and Alex Smith. We know Allen Williams can get you 30s consistently when he keeps his hand to himself, but we can't guarantee that he's going to do that. The guy came in, and within 5 minutes, he had 4 fouls. I think it was like 7 minutes, 4 fouls. So that's not too safe. All right. And for that reason, I like Alex Len a lot. He's in my main lineup for tonight, my stack lineup. You just need mid-20s from him, and he's in the 30s 3 out of the last 4 games. His floor is pretty safe. He has a 5 times floor, and he's giving you 8 times value on any given night. So Alex Len is probably one of my favorite plays. It's just that with Brook Lopez and Jokic, I'm going to hold tight with this lineup here, but Alex Len is in my main lineup that I'm playing tonight. So, and I'll show that lineup again here. For those that's just coming in and want to know, I'm stacking every starter on the Bulls. Rondo, Butler, Zippler, Mirotic, Lopez. Every Bulls starter I'm playing that I'm throwing in James Harden, Alex Len, and Richard Hollis Jefferson. That's my main lineup. I got 9 entries on it tonight, all right? And going to the Boston side, I think that Isaiah Thomas is in a great spot. He just needs mid-40s for this price. The reason that his point total has been a little lower is because Avery Bradley and Al Horford has been kind of taking over the offense. Isaiah Thomas is a scorer, but he's not really a true point guard type of guy. He's not going to get you double-digit assists or high assists for that matter. And Horford's been the one racking up more assists than even Isaiah Thomas. So he's a scorer guy. He hasn't been consistent in the mid-40s. I think tonight with Avery Bradley out and against this team, he played 32 minutes against this team, and he's putting up 51 fantasy points. So with Avery Bradley out going up against a team that's starting a guy that played 48 minutes last night, I think I like Isaiah Thomas tonight, and I'm going to consider him. Let's see if it's worth moving anyone. Jeremy Lin or Ish Smith? I'll move Lin and go Isaiah Thomas. I think whatever Lin can do, Thomas can do plus more. I'll consider that an upgrade. So I'll do that for the time being. I think Isaiah Thomas can be a little bit sneaky tonight. And shooting guard, Jaylen Brown starting, but I'm not sure how I feel about that. In 29 minutes against this team, he's put up 28 fantasy points. When he gets starter minutes, he does well. We just need 20 from him, and he's a guy that we know that can do that easily. So I think we definitely have to consider Jaylen Brown. It will be. I'm going to take out Wilson Chandler because he might go back to the bench, and Gallinari's starting now, and they like to give they like to run Jokic and what's that guy's name? Plumlee is his name. What's his name? Plumlee. They like to run Jokic and Plumlee, so I don't know how much minutes and opportunity Wilson Chandler will get, but I like Jaylen Brown starting for that price tomorrow. Okay, you can't not not consider that. That's a good consideration. Jay Crowder, it's a good spot for him. He needs about mid 30s as well. In 32 minutes, he already put up 32 fantasy points. He's been a little up and down, 25, 36, 30, 45. I mean, I can consider him for now as well. He's been consistent. So I don't hate a Crowder pick. I don't know if I'll get to him, but I'll pull him over for now. Olynyk's been pretty hot as of late. He can get you up in the upper 20s, but then he can get you 14, 15. But for the most part, he's in the upper 20s and he even touched 30 points. The only thing with Olynyk is that he's off the bench. In 21 minutes, he only put up 9 fantasy points. I think this is the team that he'll like when he could just run and gun and shoot a lot of threes and get a lot of rebounds and push the ball up and get some assists and whatnot. But the consistency haven't been there. And for that price, I'm on the bench. I'm gonna kind of fade away from Olynyk. Al Horford, though, I like a lot tonight. We know that this is a perfect matchup for him. He's consistent in the 30s and 40s. He doesn't move from there. Okay, I actually like him more than Brook Lopez. I'm gonna get rid of Brook Lopez and go Al Horford. And that's it for that game. Let me see what you guys are thinking. Yeah, me too, Jeffrey. I love IT without Bradley tonight. Um, Lamb, I didn't get to that. Did I get to that game, Charlotte? I don't think I did. Lamb, I'll check Lamb out and I'll answer that question as soon as I get back to it. So let's see. Lamb, he comes off the bench. He's been okay though, even off the bench. But we need mid 20s, 20 to 24 to 16 to 19. Kind of worries me. And if he's gonna see some Shumpert is the defender, so I'll be careful with Lamb. I'm not too big on Lamb tonight. The Bulls are not playing the Nets. Philly don't stink. Philly gives a good fight. Philly don't really get blown out that much, even against great teams. I know Golden State ran them out the gym, but I don't see the Bulls blowing out Philly. I just don't see it, and I don't really pick my lineup based on blowouts. I don't consider it. Yeah, Marquise Chris is a premier player. I'm not moving. He's pretty much locked in for me. Richard Hollison, Jefferson, and Miletich, or Chris and Smith? Which Smith? Ish Smith? Which Smith are you talking about, Prodigy? Because that might be a good point. I don't mind taking out Miletich for Chris, and then Ish. I'm not gonna change my lineup. I don't like coming on these live shows messing with my lineup, so I'm gonna stick to my main lineup. But that's not a bad consideration. If you feel good about it, then you should go for it. I think it'll pay off well for you. Um, Chandler is starting. Is he? Let's look at these Twitter updates, see what's going on. So Okafor is doubtful. He's pretty much good as out. Irving, Smith, LeBron, Walker Batum. Okay, Cavs will start. Whatever. Hornets will start. Whatever. So John Wall will play. John Wall is playing. And even though Wilson Chandler is starting, I'm just not as confident in him as I am in a Marquise Chris. I prefer to play Marquise Chris than Wilson Chandler today. So I'm gonna stick with who I got. Evan Fournier, he's a decent player. I won't call him a great player. I'm not getting to that. I agree. I did as two they were worse. What do you think of Markieff Morris? Markieff Morris is inconsistent. He's going through something right now. He has not had a lot of good games. So Jason Smith, no, I'm not changing that. I don't want Jason Smith in my lineup off the bench. I got 2 starters. I wouldn't take it out for bench players. Look at Fantasy Labs for updated starting lineups right now. You even have Denver. But even if he started, I'm not interested in him over Marquise Chris. So I'm going to stay away from him, all right? And I'm going to continue um, to Atlanta versus Milwaukee. So Henson is questionable. Beasley's going to remain out. And we know that Bazemore and Millsap are out. On the Atlanta side of the ball, Schroeder. I don't like to play point guards against Milwaukee. In 31 minutes in 3 games, he's only averaging 30 minutes. We need about 40 from him. And he hasn't quite hit the 40 mark either. So I'm going to stay clear of Schroeder. Tim Hardaway Jr. is worth a risk. He's played 2 games since those guys been out, right? He had 43 points in one, 14 in the other. So I think that's the risk that you're willing to take tonight with Tim Hardaway. I'm not going to take out Jaylen Brown, Ish Smith for Tim Hardaway. I'm all set with Tim Hardaway. Thabo has been very consistent. 24 and 30. We need about mid-20s from him. Again, I like the in 2 games playing 32 minutes against this team. He's putting up 26 fantasy points. But I like my forwards more than him. I like Chris. I'll put in I could take out Jason Smith for Thabo. That's definitely worth it. So let's put Chris as the power forward and put Thabo as our other forward. All right. Mike Dunleavy off the bench. I don't think it's worth it. Taurean Prince had a couple bad games, but we know that in 10 minutes against this team, he's averaging 10 points. So he's probably good for a point per minute. He's getting upper 20s, 30 points. I think Taurean Prince has a bounce back game in this one. The thing is, when he was doing good, making 6 times value for that, he was blocking the ball. This game, he didn't get any blocks or steals. And this game, he didn't score too many points. So we don't know with Taurean Prince. For that price, it's hit or miss. You're either gonna get 19 or you get 24 or 32. So I'm not gonna gamble on the Taurean Prince. I'm gonna see what updates we got here as lock becomes closer. Oh, now they're not completely ruling out TJ Warren. They're playing games with us, man. But he's saying that he's unlikely. Lynn Foy, Levert. So Lynn is starting. Wall is starting. Henson has been ruled out as we approach that game. So that's good to know. Here goes the Chandler news. So the Nuggets is starting Nelson, Harris, Gallinari, Chandler, and Jokic. So that's good to know. That's good to know. Moving on. Paul Millsap is out. Ilyasova again. And he's good for a point per minute in 2 games against this team. He's been doing a point per minute. His last 2 games, even with Millsap out, 21 and 24. So I don't know how much I can rely on Ilyasova tonight. Dwight Howard, I think, is in a good spot. He just had a bounce. We need low 40s. He just had 43 in a bounce back game against Washington. In 29 minutes, he's put up 33 fantasy points. I think he's in a good spot. I just like Jokic and Al Horford more. So I'm not going to get to Dwight Howard in this lineup, but Dwight Howard, his usage increases. He's in a good matchup. I would like to say that Henson will give him a little more challenge than any mixture of Greg Monroe or Thon Makers, who they've been going with quite a bit. So Antetokounmpo needs about 60. He finally hit 60. If you know my videos, I hate playing this guy. I don't like to play him because they'll charge you 10K and you'll get back 42, 26, 44, 30. So 3 to 4 times value is what you're looking at. I would stay clear of Henson on any given night until his price drops. Brogdon needs about 30, 21, 24. It's not what I want tonight. Dellavedova needs about 20. He's been in the low teens. Tony Snell needs about 20, mid-20s. He's been in the single digits. Not what you want. Middleton needs mid-30s. He's 26, 41, 20, 33. A little bit too up and down for my liking. Teletovic needs about 20. I think Teletovic is going to be the main beneficiary from the Henson not playing. When he gets minutes, he's good for a point per minute, I think, and in a good matchup with no Millsap. With Millsap, and he played 25 minutes and got 22 points. So for the minimum price, Teletovic is someone to take a risk on, man. I think he's very sneaky tonight. He's in a good spot. He's going to get the minutes. Teletovic, I like a lot. There's no one here that I would take out for Teletovic, but I like Teletovic a lot tonight. I think his three balls will get going. Definitely want to consider Teletovic. All right. Greg Monroe. It's just even with Henson not playing, he's not getting as much minute. They rather go with Thon Maker, and Spencer Hawes and these guys. So I don't know what Jason Kidd is doing. I can't predict it. Spencer Hawes with Henson out might be a worth a look as well. In 18 minutes against Sacramento, he put up 21 fantasy points. So if he gets the minutes for the bare minimum, he might even get the start. I don't know if they dropped the starting lineup for this game as yet, but I don't mess around with Jason Smith players, man, because I never know what he's gonna do, and I don't want to put my money on that. Houston versus New Orleans. Let me see what you guys are talking about. Solomon Hill or CJ Miles? I will go CJ Miles only because Glenn Robinson is out. So I would say CJ Miles. I would say CJ Miles. Um, but Solomon Hill, I mean, he had a couple hot games. I don't know if you want to chase that. I think he's back to his ways, his old scrub ways. Brook Lopez doesn't rebound. Any center against Philly is worth some consideration. Do you like Teague against Denver? I don't love Teague right now. He's kind of breaking out of his slump, but I need to see that he's out. Shabazz is not in this slate, so he's a good player. If you're gonna do the late slate, then yes, Shabazz is a good play. Yeah, I wouldn't play Solomon Hill, man. Chicago's stack is still in effect, Tim. This is just a slate breakdown where I'm breaking down like I normally do and applying my system to it. But I'm definitely stacking that Chicago stack. It ain't, I haven't changed anything from that lineup whatsoever. All right, so everyone is healthy in this game. Starting with Houston, we know that James Harden is a monster. If you can get him in, get him in. This roster tends to look a little more balanced. I'm not going to be able to get to James Harden, but he is in my main lineup for tonight. All right, Pat Beverly needs about 30. They just played about 2 games ago, and he put up 17. He's been inconsistent. He can get you 29 or 13, so you don't want to mess around with Pat Bev. Lou Williams needs 30. He's also been inconsistent. He'll get you 13, 20, 17, or he'll get you 53. So if you think it's the night for him to get 53, go for it, but I'm not going to do that. Eric Gordon off the bench. He's about 30. He's been playing all right. 26, 21, 20. Doesn't really fit what I look for. Trevor Ariza needs about 30. I like Trevor Ariza, man. I think Trevor Ariza is just 1 or 2 games away from a 30-point night, 40-point night. In 3 games, playing 28 minutes, he's averaging 27.5. If you're a person that goes for 5 times value, I would definitely recommend Trevor Ariza. I think his flow will be pretty safe as well. Besides this 16-point game, he's pretty much been in the 20s. So he has a 5 times value floor, and I think he can get into the 30s. I like Trevor Ariza quite a bit tonight. Ryan Anderson off the bench has been really struggling. We need 20s from him. He's been in the low teens. He's not worth consideration. Clint Capella is worth some consideration. He's averaging about 28, which is almost 6 times value in the last 10. And 2 games ago, he played them. He only had 16.5. Cousins is a bully, and Clint Capella is a guy I see getting into some foul trouble. In Denver, he had 5 fouls, but he still hit value. So we know that the pick and roll with him and Harden is a great thing right now. So I wouldn't count him out. I just like Al Horford and Jokic more than I do Clint Capella. On the New Orleans side of the ball, point guard Drew Holiday is always worth a look. He needs about 40 to make me happy tonight. He's hit 40 twice in the last 4 games, but then he gets to 25 and 30. And those totals would really upset me. Against Houston a couple games ago, he already put up 40.5. I think Pat Beverly's a little tough on him, though, so I don't know about Drew Holiday. I'll be very careful. Tim Frazier has been getting spot starts, and he hasn't really been doing much. He had 1 good game. People started chasing it, and then he went back to his teens. We need 20s from him. So Tim Frazier, I'm not interested in. Jordan Crawford coming off the bench in these mid-20s. He's had 12, then 25, 17, then 21. So he's a little up and down. He doesn't fit what I'm looking for. If you think it's his up day, though, go for it. Eaton Moore needs mid-20s. He was getting me about 20 consistently. He just dropped a 10 bomb, and I did have him that day. So I'm going to stay away from Eaton Moore. But if you think he get back in the 20s, go ahead. He's done it in the last 4 out of the last 5 games. He's been in the 20s, and that's 5 times value. So I don't hate it. Eaton Moore. Solomon Hill, everyone's favorite right now. Against Houston is when he went off for that 50-point game. So everyone's thinking he's going to do it again tonight. He followed it up in another tough matchup with a 33-point game. But then he came out with this 15-point game. We need mid-20s from him. So I don't know which Solomon Hill I'm going to get tonight. Before those 2 good games, he had nothing good. He was in the teens and single digits. So I'm not really chasing that. I don't think chasing that is a good idea. I'm going to stay away. DeMarcus Cousins just went off against Memphis with 80, but then he can settle in the 40s and 30s. We need 60 to be happy tonight. And against Houston, he didn't play the Houston game, so he seems to do well against the Houston team. He'll grab a lot of rebounds, and we know that he can score. He just put up 40 points, so I like Jokic better for a cheaper price tonight, I must admit. So I'm going to stay away from him. And Anthony Davis, same thing. They alternate big games. Anthony Davis needs about 60. He just had 82 against Charlotte, so I think they cancel each other out and they both land in the 40s tonight. My personal opinion, and I'm going to stay away from them both. And that's it for that game. And wrapping it up with the Chicago versus Philly game, Okafor has been ruled out. So now I'm in a dilemma because I really think, all right, let's start on the Philly side, and I'll take my time to get to it. Point guard McConnell needs 30. He's been too up and down. He'll get you 38, then he'll get you 16. He'll get you 21, 19. I'm not interested. Rodriguez, I'm not interested in. Stauskas has been pretty steady. 4 times value is 24. He's averaging 25 in the last 10 games. And he's in the 20 every game. 23, 34, 28, 25. So I think Stauskas is pretty good. The only thing is Jimmy Butler is starting as at the 2. And he plays defense. And Zipser is starting at the 3. And Zipser is a big body to put on Stauskas. But in 28 minutes, going against, I think maybe that's a Dwayne Wade situation. Dwayne Wade may be a little better to go up against. I don't love Stauskas, but I don't hate him tonight. And I think he's a good, safe cash play with a decent floor that he would not lose your lineup. I don't see Stauskas getting anything less than 20 tonight, but I think he can get you into the mid-20s for that price as well. But I'm not going to go there. TLC with Stauskas and Henderson playing, he's pretty much irrelevant. He'll get you 11 and 8 points. Henderson, again, 10, 14, 0. He played 7 minutes and gave you 0. So be careful there. Saric needs 40s. 24, 28 has been his last 2. Then he had a 41 and then 30. So he's a little bit up and down. I'm not too confident. Covington does very well when Okafor sits because he's going to be playing a lot of power forward. They're going to take him out kind of early, and then when Saric sits, he's going to be playing the 4, and then at the end of the game, he'll do okay. So Covington is good play tonight, man. I think Covington is back into the 40s. We need 40s from him tonight, and I think against a weak Bulls interior, Covington can land you into the 40s tonight. So let's see. I would take out Crowder for Covington and be happy with that, right? So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to take out Crowder, and I'm going to get Covington into my little lineup that I've been working on. I like Covington tonight. Rashawn Holmes, I love tonight, and I'm definitely playing him now that I know that Okafor will be ruled out. Let's see what Twitter got for us, right? So Okafor is out. It's confirmed. So get Rashawn Holmes in your lineup, man. The guy's a monster. He's a beast. He's going to get you 40, probably 50 tonight. Get Rashawn Holmes in your lineup. He is out. Rashawn Hope is starting. Oh, my God. So who would I take out? Jokic or Horford? It's hard for me. I know Horford is great, but we're going to take out Horford, save some money, and get some Rashawn Holmes in there, okay? I feel pretty good about that move. I'm not gonna lie, I do. I feel very good about that move. And then on the Chicago side of the ball, Rondo's been killing. If we want to start on the Chicago, Rondo's been killing it. He can get you 22, then 50, then 14, then 24. And just so you know, I do have a lineup where I'm stacking the entire Chicago lineup. So I'm gonna reserve my Chicago players for that lineup, but I don't love Rondo enough to take out Isaiah Thomas or Ish Smith in this case. All right. Or his backups. Jimmy Butler's been hot, man. He's the man right now. I'm excited about the stack lineup because of Jimmy Butler. We need 50 to kind of stay happy, and he's been about 5 times value consistently. He shows some 67 and he can be up and down as well. But I think tonight in this matchup he goes off. So um, Jimmy Butler is worth some consideration. I have him in my main lineup as well. Um, Denzel Valentine needs mid-20s. He's up and down 17, then 15, then 37. I'm gonna stay away from Valentine. Paul Zipser though, man, it's hard for me to say I'm staying away from him, but because of that stack lineup, I'm gonna not put him in this lineup. Okay, in case this Brooklyn game turns into some worse blowout or there's ice under the court and it doesn't play or whatever it is. If I lose on this lineup, at least I have this other lineup for some security. And I'm not betting a lot of money on this other lineup. But Paul Zipser is worth consideration. Since Dwayne Wade went down, he's been in the starting lineup. 27 and 29 are his totals for his last 2 games. So you want to take a look at him as well. Mirotic, in 2 games playing 25 minutes against this team, he's averaging 20 points. He's as up and down as it gets, man. He'll get you 46, then 13, then 10, then 38. We need 30 from him tonight. So who knows if he can get it. Robin Lopez, I think, is going to be pretty popular tonight. This is a great matchup for him. In just 27 minutes in 2 games, he's averaging 30 points against this team. And we need mid-20s from him, and he's been stepping up. Since Dwayne Wade left, he's taken 12 to 16 shots per game. That's the big thing to look at. The last game, it says that he only took 8 shots because he got ejected. That was at like halftime. He already took 8 shots. So there's going to be a lot of shots for Robin Lopez tonight. Definitely want to consider him, and I have him in my main lineup in this game stack as well. And that's the slate breakdown. We got $1,200, and I think Sheffilosa is worth some upgrading, and if we could find someone that'll fit for 5,800 for a forward, we'll be all set, right? Markeith needs about mid-30s. I'm gonna stay away from Markeith. He's been a little bit too unsteady. For $100 more, we could have held on to Crowder. I don't hate Crowder tonight, man. I think Crowder is pretty consistent. Mirotic, no. So I got one more spot for a forward. Does it have to be a forward? It doesn't. It could be a guard because I can move around some Jaylen Brown to forward. So let's see. All for 5,800. Jeremy Lin. Why not, right? But I don't think I'm going to be able to do that either because I don't have Jeremy Lin is a 1 guard. I don't have a 2 guard. I wouldn't mind Jeremy Lin. Let's see what you guys are thinking. Maybe somebody have a suggestion for me. Okay. I'm definitely back on the Holmes train. Yep. Maybe we can get Holmes in with Harden on the Chicago stack. I'll take a look at it. That's a good thing to Tim. I'm gonna look at it. If I can afford it, I'll just punt a cheap player. I gotta look at it. And see. Okafor, Harden's only gonna have 50 or less. You can never predict that, man. Frazier starting. I like Frazier better when he's off the bench. He gets better numbers. If you look at his totals, he does better when he comes off the bench than when he starts. Rashad Holmes definitely worth a shot tonight. He's already in the lineup. He's not moving. Zipser is good. Are you putting Holmes in your lineup from the video? No. I might. I have to look at it. Here, let's check it out. 671 wants to know. So if I take out both of these guys, because everybody else is pretty much set, right? Can I afford Holmes? Rashawn Holmes. Yeah, I can. I can afford Holmes, so that's not bad. That's not bad. Who did I have? Len. I could do that. I could take out, but what would I do for 3,400 now? I'm not just gonna throw anybody in there. I want somebody that I feel good about. Sean Long maybe. Now that I don't think that's a bad stack. Holmes and Long. If it turns into a blowout, Long gets the minutes. Long gonna get the minutes regardless, right? The last time against Orlando, Okafor didn't play against Orlando, and Long didn't play either, but he still got 17. But he had to do 2 steals and 2 blocks to get that. I don't know about Long, guys. Oh, Jaylen Brown. Look at this. Sweet. I can get Jaylen Brown with Rashawn Holmes. Oh my God, I'm starting to love this even more. This is it, guys. This is my new Chicago. So I'm stacking all Chicago, and then some Jaylen Brown, James Harden, and Rashawn Holmes. Love it, love it. Who did I take out? So I got Jaylen Browns and Holmes for Len and Jefferson, Hollis Jefferson. I don't think that's bad. I don't think that's bad at all. I think Rashawn Holmes got a great selling tonight. So let me see how you guys feel about that. I'm on Booker. Yeah, that's all cool. Booker is good. I'm trying to get him to do it TGP. Yeah, I just did it. Love Holmes when Okafor is out. Yep. No, I'm not Haitian, but I'm West Indian though. That's why I got an accent. I'm West Indian, but I'm not Haitian. Are you Haitian, DCD? I got a lot of Haitian friends. I grew up in Flatbush, Brooklyn, so I got a lot of Haitian friends. I could say about 5 words in Creole. I'm actually going with the replacement. Whatever. Made first lineup. Love that stack. Long and Holmes. Nah, I rather Jaylen Browns than Long though. So even though I like the stack, I'm gonna have to take Brown over Long. It's a no brainer for me. I'm gonna look at lineups. John Cena, save that until I get these 2 lineups in and going, and then I can start giving lineup advice. But right now, we only got about 13 minutes, and half Trinidad. Oh yeah, Trinidad. So are they keeping too much noise? Oh gosh, only too many players from one squad for game stack. Don't want to use both teams. Nah, I'm sticking to just Bulls and how I got it. I feel good about it tonight. I don't know why. I just feel good about it. But I'm still gonna make this other lineup based on my system and see how it works. So we got 5,800, and we got to do some. So we love Holmes, right? We love Holmes. Let's see what we can do. Let's go down and see if anybody else stands out for cheaper. All right. Any values down here? We could probably get back Cephalosha and then upgrade someone else. Who will we upgrade though? Covington or IT? Let's take out IT for right now, right? Because no, I'm not taking out IT in this matchup. IT is gonna go with no thing. I like IT. Jaylen Brown, Covington. Oh no, I feel good about Len, man. I'm gonna move Jokic for 1 second. I want to see something really quick. So if I put Len, I got 10-7, and I could probably get LeBron. You get some LeBron in there. How we feel about that? LeBron for Jokic, though. What you guys think? Let me see what you guys thinking. Oh, Mamba is a Jamaican. Yeah, I got too much Jamaican for enough yard you. I'm a Belgian, enough Belgian yardy. um, anyone playing Gortat? Nah, it's is smart to fade point guard for Covington. PG, Rondo. Nah, keep Paul George. And who they said is starting? Gallinari and Chandler. I probably should just get some Paul George in here and just call it a day, right? Nah, nah, I'm not doing that. Denver is locking it down. They rebound the ball too well for me to do that. Yeah, I love Ish Smith tonight. I'm not moving Ish Smith. I'm looking for a forward. I'm looking to see how I can make the situation better. How you guys feel about LeBron James? Or should I just go DeMarcus Cousins? Maybe that last game woke him up. He's taking 27 shots. He's hitting the threes. He's snatching on the boards. He's probably getting some foul trouble. He's blocking. He's stealing. Let's see. You know what I could do? I can get rid of Covington because Covington is never a sure thing. I do like him a lot tonight with Okafor out, but I'm gonna move Covington. All right, boom. Then I'm gonna put for small forward LeBron, and then I still got 7,200 for another player. So let's see what the options are. All right, we can go some Ulis. You can't go wrong with that guy. Just played 42 minutes though, man. It's tough. Um, and we can't go Ulis. We cannot go. I can't do point. I could do anything but point guard at this point. See what you guys thinking, man. Love Cousins tonight. Me too. I feel like Cousins keep it going, man. I know they're gonna cancel each other out, but he's not gonna get you a line that's gonna make you regret having him. You know what I mean? And against Houston in that up pace match, let's see what says. He'll get you a little 5-time value. All right, let's go Covington. I mean Cousins. We can't go wrong with Cousins. And then we gotta get rid of LeBron James. And now we got $77, and we can get Kemba Walker. I mean, it's a good matchup for him. And he's home. I know he's been up and down and struggling, but if we want to, we're not gonna bet irresponsibly with our money tonight. We're gonna do it safe, right? Jeff Teague. I can't do point guard, so I can't do Kemba. I don't know why I keep doing that. For $100 more, I could have went Bradley Beal. I wouldn't mind that with Wall being a little banged up. Sean Holmes, Alex Len. Or right, I can go back to I could get rid of Len, go back to Horford. All right, we loved Horford before. Let's get a center down there, right? Because centers was what win money. I can go back to this guy. Can I? No, I can't go back to Jokic. I wish. Vucevic. I got a funny feeling about. I could go Al Horford. Go Al Horford and then have $5,600 and go what? Fournier. I mean, he's pretty safe against Detroit, though. Let's see. Ish Smith, Harden, Zipster. Looks pretty good. What's that last spot gonna be like for us? You got 3 minutes, 7 minutes. Jeremy Fournier, one. It's crazy. Jeremy Leno, Fournier. I don't know. I'm thinking Fournier. Nope, no Fournier. Mirotic. Oh, Ariza. I'm gonna do Ariza because I've been feeling Ariza as of late, and I think in this matchup Ariza has a safe flow. What did he do against them? 20. I think I like Ariza here. I think Ariza can do something. How do you guys feel about Ariza? The Chicago lineup is right here, guys. Oh, I didn't even submit it. I am bugging. I would have been so pissed off. All right. Now I got to make a decision here, man. So this is the Chicago lineup. So pause your screen and just look at that for a minute. But I got a couple minutes to put through this. Oh, and you guys want to do it too, right? All right. So I'm not getting any input, man. What do you guys do? I let you guys pick the last one, man. What do you guys want for this last one here? I'm thinking just going Fournier and then keep Jaylen Brown. Fuck it. Fournier and Jaylen Brown. Fournier is not a bad pick. He's been pretty. I mean, he needs about 30. He's averaging 30 in the last 10 days. He takes a lot of shots for this team. He can do everything. I don't hate that Fournier pick. All right. So now I'm gonna edit my entries. So I'm only putting a certain amount of money on this one here. So that's the lineup, guys. Submit. And then there was another one. This one. Import. Submit. So these are my two lineups for tonight, guys. I'm going to leave it on the screen for the last 5 minutes. I'm sorry I took so long to get to it. This is it. This is my Chicago stack, and I feel very good about this one tonight. And then this one here is just a lineup that so-called fits my system with some good upside. There's no one that I really hate. IT, Fournier, Jaylen Brown, Marquise Chris, Rashawn Holmes, Ish Smith, DeMarcus Cousins, and Al Horford. So these are the two lineups I'm running. I think they're both going to be in the green tonight, guys. This is it. This is the final word. And if you guys have a recommendation instead of Fournier, I could put anything except for a point guard or a center for Fournier. So if you have any recommendations, I'll change it in the last 3 minutes if I do agree with you. So I could put anything except for a point guard or a center instead of Fournier for $5,600. So let me know what you guys think. Before you guys head out, hit the thumbs up or thumbs down button. If you like what I did for you today, hit the thumbs up. If you don't like anything I do, hit the thumbs down. If you haven't already subscribed to my video, go ahead and do that. And if you do subscribe, hit the bell so you get alerts whenever I'm live or if I put a new video up. I do this daily. And that's it. If you guys have a suggestion for Fournier, let me know. I'll put him in. Anything but a point guard or a center I could fit. Fournier, I think, is pretty safe. That's the lineup. All right. Let me see something. It's hard for me to move Jaylen Brown, man. When Jaylen Brown starts, he does well. And it's Phoenix. You can't move Jaylen Brown. IT, nah. Let me see something. I'm not making any changes, guys. I'm just here fooling around for the last couple of minutes. Nope, nobody that I love. Maybe some Lynn, and then 8,200. Yeah, I'm all set. This is my lineup, guys. It's no more changes. Good luck tonight. At midnight, I might make a video if I'm stacking again tomorrow. If I see another game stack that stands out like the Chicago one, I'll do that. But I'm not breaking out any slates until pre-lock like I did today. So this is the new thing that I'm going to be doing going forward. And let's see how it works for us. All right, guys, I'm signing out, man. Again, good luck.